What's going on, Curse of Aros fans? There's a few things that you need to do to be best prepared for the upcoming desert update, and I'm going to cover all of those topics and more in this video. Once you feel that you're best prepared for the update, you can grind Golemite bats for experience, or you can farm the Halloween event for meds, flasks, more, and a chance at the pumpkin sword. So let's get into it. So the desert update is right around the corner for real this time. It's coming out in 1 week from today. So what are a few of the, well, let's try to hit all of them. What are all of the things that you can do to be best prepared for the desert update? Of course, you want to get your combat level up as high as you can. Preferably, that's probably the top priority because farming the bosses, the new desert bosses that will be coming out, will probably be the most profitable thing that we can possibly do in the new desert update. And the best way to be prepared for that is to make sure you've got a high combat level, because always what goes along with a high combat level is good gear. So if you're a high combat level, you're not going to be running around in Mythin. You're going to have good gear too. So get your combat level up as high as you can. Level 90 should be good enough to get your foot in the door and really experience a lot of what the new update is going to have to offer. If you're level 90 and you've got a full Golemite set preferably, at least, then you should be able to take on, I don't know how many new bosses there will be, but you should be able to take on some of the new bosses or one of the new bosses. But if you want to be best prepared, you want to be level 100 plus with Umbral. Of course, I've got some work to do there too. I'm an Iron Man account, so I don't have Umbral gear. I only have about 128 Umbra KC on this character. Because I just don't really like the Ember fight very much. I don't like the crashing and the turn taking, which is why I really like this Halloween event as an alternative. This is a really good way to be prepared for the desert update, is to grind this Halloween event. But before we get to that, there's other important things that you need to make sure you've got taken care of first. Like, we have to craft our Gumbrel, Golem and Umbral combined. Wow. We have to craft our Golem and Umbral gear using blacksmithing. Using blacksmithing. So we may have to do the same thing for the upcoming bosses in the new desert update. So you really want to make sure you have your blacksmithing skill. Let's see here. Hold on a second. You really want to make sure you have your blacksmithing skill probably at level 80 plus, 85. Around there. You want to get it to 80 plus should be good. And we may require higher than that even, but 80 is a comfortable blacksmithing level to have going into the desert update. I feel like that's good enough for now. Of course, you want to have relics and scrolls, specifically damage relics, because when we go fight the new desert bosses, we'll want to be doing as much damage as we possibly can to have the best chance at getting loot, because whoever does the most damage to a boss has the best chance of getting loot, if you're unaware of that. So you want damage relics, you want to make sure you have your damage scrolls. So if you don't have scrolls, you can do tasks. If you don't have relics, you can grind Golem, sell Golem boss parts, and buy the relics that way. You can try to grind Umbra and go for a Dragonine and buy relics that way, or of course you can craft your relics yourself. Whatever you really feel like doing, that's up to you. Let's see. So if you've got level 90 to 100, you've got at least a Golemite set. If you've got your blacksmithing to 80, if you've got your other skills to 80 also, because if you do, then you'll be able to gather all of the new desert nodes and you'll be able to make a lot of money that way, especially in the first 1 to 2 weeks of the new desert update being released. You'll be able to make a lot of money with gathering, as well as participating in any of the new content, killing the new bosses, some of the new mobs, gathering the new nodes. You'll be able to make a lot of money in a lot of different ways, as long as you're playing the game a lot in the first 1 to 2 weeks, especially the first week. Whatever you're doing, you'll be able to make a lot of money. So If you're a crafter and a gatherer, make sure you've got your skills up and you're prepared to gather those new nodes. If you're more combat focused like I am, make sure you're at least level 100 if you're more combat focused. That's what you should be aiming for with Umbral gear. If you can't get Umbral gear, Golemite is good enough. And money may be the least important thing to gather in preparation for the new update, because in the first week to a month you really won't want to buy any of the new desert stuff because the prices will be really inflated because all of the stuff is new and the demand will be very high and the supply will be very low. So you don't want to buy anything. So I don't know if you necessarily need gold, but you never know. There may be, I mean, we don't know much about the desert update. There could be a merchant in the desert that sells stuff for high amounts of gold, you know, so who knows? But based on the information that we do have, that's not the case. So I would place gold as the least important thing that you need to have in order to be prepared for the desert update. So focus on your combat level first and your skill levels, and make sure you have plenty of meds and flasks. Make sure you have plenty of damage relics and scrolls, and you will be best prepared for the desert update. When the update hits, have a plan. Have a plan. If you're a gatherer, go hit those nodes and stay on those nodes and gather as much as you possibly can, and try to make some sales first day on the new materials. Because that's when you'll be able to manipulate the prices most effectively. You'll be able to sell your materials for as much as you want, basically. You know, not technically not as much as you want, but you know, the prices are going to be so inflated, it's going to be ridiculous. First 1 to 2 days. If you're more of a combat player, you know, just go in there, figure out where the bosses are at, pay attention to chat, and especially in Discord chat, and try to figure out, like, if somebody says they got a good drop somewhere, you know, just take note of that and don't forget it, because maybe you'll want to grind where that person was grinding. Because nobody's going to know where to grind in the beginning. We're going to have to run around, figure out where everything's at. People will just be killing random monsters. Somebody will find the boss, and then we'll all congregate to the boss, and it'll be a big brawl at the boss. But yeah, if you're a combat, just probably, I would recommend going straight for the bosses as soon as you can find them, instead of the normal mobs, because the bosses are probably going to have the best loot. I believe that's basically everything. Let's just recap it just to make sure you got it. I mean, it's pretty straightforward. You just basically play the game and progress in any way you want. And as long as you're playing the game a lot and progressing a lot, then you're becoming better prepared for the desert update. But, you know, let's go over it all again just for the sake of it. You want to make sure you got around level 90 to 100 with at least Golemite gear. Umbral gear is better, of course, but at least Golemite is good enough to get your foot in the door. You want to make sure your blacksmithing is around level 80. That'll be the most important skill, I believe, because probably the bosses will drop boss parts and we'll have to craft our gear from those boss parts. So blacksmithing will be the most important skill, and then after that, level up your other skills to around level 80, and once you do that, then you should be able to gather the new nodes and craft new stuff. And you can make a lot of money doing that. Make sure you have scrolls, plenty of meds and flasks, and plenty of damage relics, damage specifically, because you want to have the best chance of getting the new boss drops. If you're, you know, of course, if you're a crafter and gatherer, then you know what relics you need better than I do. So if you're a crafter and gatherer, then you want crafting and gathering relics, of course. Is that everything? I believe that's everything. Pretty sure that's everything. I'm probably forgetting something, but anyway, I'll be coming out with content daily, guys, so stay tuned. Don't forget to subscribe, and peace out.